What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Canada's imploding, literally. Jobs are being bled out of the country at an alarming rate. The United States is flourishing on behalf of Mark Carney and his debauched attempts to try and masterfully negotiate Canada having a fair deal at the table. Now, many people have talked, including this channel, saying this is controlled chaos. This is controlled decline. That Canada essentially is being deliberately run into the ground. We've seen Moose on the Loose's, shout out to David, by the way, he does great work, chart showing all of Mark Carney's conflicts of interest. We now have this disastrous MOU in Alberta. We now have all of these talks going across the country. We're going to unlock Canada's economic potentials. Nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. But we got to focus on where things have been getting done because, well, we have a larger problem in Canada that things are never going to get fixed, folks. Anybody thinking that if we have an election, if a conservative government comes in, hey, everything's magically fixed, things are going to get back on track for Canada. No. Companies are leaving at an alarming rate. And we got to talk, once again, about President Donald Trump. I know a lot of people sometimes get upset when I do his voice, but I think it's wonderful today. I think President Trump is amazing. Hit that subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. Let's take a look at Trump. I had to show this because it happened earlier in the week, but this is why I love President Trump. This is why I think he's the greatest. I think he's wonderful, believe me. He called Tim Walz retarded, and people always go, oh, you can't say retarded. It's not a good word. Yeah, you can. It's coming back. Look at Trump just telling it like it is. Boy, I wish we had President Trump in Canada. Take a look.
Same post you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
But you don't need
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country.
We give billions of dollars to Somalia. There's something wrong with him. Is that word offending you? I love it. I love how the reporter can't even get around it, saying, well, some Americans find this word offensive. Well, he just blurts it out. In fact, he blurted it out almost a second time when talking about Somalia this week, as we've got rapid response saying, POTUS, because they let them in. Are you stupid? Here, let's even do it in his voice. It's because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they let him on a plane, along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here. Go get a lollipop. Maybe you'll feel better. Let's take a look.
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look, you'll see there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in. And frankly, the whole thing was a mess. The whole Afghanistan situation was a mess. It should have never taken place. If we're going to go out, and we would have gone out because I had everybody ready to go. We were going to go out with strength and dignity and precision. And we would have left from Bagram, and we would have kept Bagram, by the way, because of its very close relationship to China and where they make their missiles. But when you let the people come in by the thousands and thousands and thousands, they made a terrible mistake.
I mean, don't you wish we had this kind of leadership in Canada? Does it sound familiar, Canada? Does it sound like maybe how things are going up here? Billions and billions coming in. On airplanes over the border. They just walk across now. We have an app in Canada. I don't know if our American viewers, shout out to them. God bless President Trump, by the way. We have millions of people walking over top of Canada's border that all they have to do is go on an app and say, yep, I'm a refugee, and in they come. No vetting, no security check, no nothing. In fact, Canada government officials have stated in different committee meetings that they don't even know where these people are. They don't keep track of them. They're all over the country. They're robbing people's houses. They're assaulting our women. No problem. No problem. Just woke Canada. Go woke, go broke. You've got jobs fleeing the country at the same time that Mark Carney claims he's doing all these wonderful things for Canada. He's really just handing the United States all these wins. And rightfully so. If Mark Carney wants to leave them on the table, it's within the U.S.'s right to snatch them up. I hope things get so bad that people ask for Mark Carney on a swivel. Not physically. That would be hate speech. Get him out of office. Get him out of here, as Trump says. Talk about Stellantis and what happened this last week in Stellantis. The people that are up here from Stellantis and Ford and General Motors, great companies. Well, should we do it in the voice? I know some people hate it. I love it. The people that are here from Stellantis, Ford, General Motors, they're great companies, including this gentleman, right? They wouldn't be here today if we didn't have tariffs. They'd be building their plants in Mexico and other places. They're leaving Mexico. They're leaving Canada. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats and the pets of the people that live there. They took our businesses away from us, and now because of tariffs, they're all coming back. It's such a great thing. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I think it's great. Canada's handed them all this business. This is the reason for Donald Trump's tariffs. In fact, while Stellantis signed this deal with Donald Trump, you can see it right here, Canadian taxpayers gave Stellantis $15 billion. Today, their CEO proudly tells Donald Trump they're putting almost that exact amount into new factories in the USA. Mark Carney is a master negotiator, says Ezra. Yeah, this is the reality. Canada just paid for Stellantis to go and invest in the United States. What a great prime minister we have. Hey, folks, take a look at this.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great day for us at Stellantis today, because it's the day where we see CAFE regulation reconciled with real customers' demand. That's why at Stellantis we decided to invest to Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler $13 billion in the next 4 years, increasing production by 50%, delivering to the market 5 new vehicles, and creating 5,000 additional jobs. That's because we believe in what you, Secretary Taffy, and all your team is doing in this country. We believe in growth, and we are ready to invest even more. So thank you very much. Thank you very much also for this great news.
They believe in growth. They believe in the affordability to build their products in his country. So when Mark Carney wants to talk about, we're just unlocking Canada's economic potential, or he's more like Mr. Burns. Everybody says, oh, he's like Charles Montgomery Burns. We're just trying to unlock Canada's potential. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. He's trying to unlock his own financial potential. In fact, we showed a video earlier this morning where parliamentarians were saying, do you really think a guy who was with Brookfield Asset Management's making millions of dollars would give up that position to come to Canada and be the prime minister for a $400,000 a year salary, just out of the goodness of his heart to try and negotiate deals that don't benefit his country or his companies anymore? This is all a money grab. That's all it is. This is a disaster. This is the money that came from Canadian taxpayers' pockets. Now jobs are also gone and they're bleeding out of the country. Canada needs to wake up and end this green initiative madness immediately. The result is unrelenting. This is why Alberta needs its independence. This is why I vie for Alberta to leave Canada. Trump predicts we could soon see income taxes completely eliminated, says Benny Johnson. Benny's a great channel. I'm sure everybody knows about Benny, but Benny's amazing. Trump says, I believe in the distant future you won't have any income tax. The tariff money's enormous. It's huge. You get rid of it or you just have it low, but you won't be paying income tax anymore, okay? It's wonderful. This is what Alberta's talking about within 5 years of independence. Income taxes will be completely eliminated. So would you rather have an incompetent government that's there to line their pockets, the new mob, the new mafia, that's there just to pad themselves, boost their portfolios, or this? You know, so many people have such a hatred for President Donald Trump, and I don't understand it. Why wouldn't you want this in your life?
Over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up, and I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay. because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've slashed $1 trillion in costly job-killing regulations, saving Americans an estimate over the next 2-3.
And they've made it more attractive for companies to build in America again. He's literally doing what he campaigned on, make America great again. Here's the problem. Marco Rubio talks about the security of Canada, and he isn't wrong, and Canadians should be paying attention. Wealth Moose, another fantastic account to follow if you're on X. When you can just walk into a country without knowing who you are, no nation is safe. Again, sound familiar, Canada? He's talking about Europe. He could just as easily be talking about Canada. Let's be honest. Our borders are overwhelmed. Identity checks are collapsing. Organized crime and trafficking rings are exploiting loopholes. Cities are buckling under housing. Policing and social services chaos. Ottawa still pretends this is normal. And all the elbows up morons that voted Mark Carney in, they're all still drunk on the Kool-Aid that this man is somehow responsible after only a couple of months of his presidency for 10 years of bad policy, theft, and scandals. Rubio is saying what every Western nation is whispering. Mass immigration without vetting destabilizes countries. Borders mean nothing if you don't know who's entering. Chaos creates opportunity for the worst actors. Europe sees it. The US sees it. Canadians see it every day on their streets. The only people who don't see it, the people running Canada. How long before we learn the lesson the hard way? I think we're already getting there. Take a listen to Marco Rubio.
And I can go down the list. Why has he focused on mass migration? It's very simple, because no country is safe if you can just walk in without us knowing who you are into your country. We've seen the destruction that that's wreaking, not just in our own country, but the impact that it's having in Europe and in many other parts of the world.
You can't. Wealth Moose nails it. Nails it, even right below. Gunther Eagleman putting out huge. Ford CEO says it out loud. Thanks to Trump killing Biden's insane regulations, we can finally build cheaper cars in America again. This is what I voted for. Why can't we have a Canadian government that wants to do this? Like, if you're in Canada right now, you should be pissed off and mad. You should. I tout the Americans for doing what they've done. This was left on the table. They had every right to snatch this up. And good on them. What is it they say? Bully for them? They're doing fantastic things. I think President Trump is nailing it. He's wonderful. Now let's get to the big problem in Canada, Algoma Steel. We've got Juno News coming out here. You guys remember the half billion-dollar loan that went out to Algoma Steel? Liberals admit now, including Doug Ford, who's the biggest proponent of disaster in this country, the Liberals are aware of Algoma Steel layoffs before granting them a $500 million loan. It says here, Algoma Steel had informed the Carney government that it planned to lay off 1,000 employees before it was given $500 million in taxpayer money, according to CEO Michael Garcia. Algoma Steel had informed the Carney government that it planned to lay off 1,000 employees before it was given $500 million in taxpayer money. Canada's last remaining independent steel producer, which employs about 2,500 workers, announced layoffs Monday because its blast furnace and coke-making facilities are shutting down to transition to electric arc furnace steel making by next year. The layoffs take effect March 23rd. We expected the transition to happen in early 2027 or late, but with the dynamics and the significant change to our available markets with U.S. tariffs, the future had arrived early at Algoma Steel, Garcia told CTV News, the government's propaganda network, on Wednesday. In September, the Carney government provided Algoma with $400 million loan, while the Ontario government agreed to put up the other $100 million under the same terms. The company first applied for a $500 million loan from Liberals back in July. Here's the thing that's being missed with Algoma Steel. While there's no direct investment in Algoma Steel from Brookfield, the electricity generators they're putting in, the green energy stuff that's going on here, when we get away from coke-making facilities to electric arc, the electric arc facilities are managed by Brookfield. Again, Mark Carney making a huge profit on his portfolio. He's even been told that called out for having Brookfield we'll say employees, investors, lobbyists into his office. He's had meetings with Brookfield while the Prime Minister of Canada, in the Prime Minister's office. Like, you have to be a special kind of stupid if you don't know what the hell's going on in this country. When asked whether Ottawa and Ontario knew layoffs were coming before agreeing to the $500 million loan, Garcia said, "The government certainly knows our business strategy. It knows the pivot that we had to make. It knew very well the extreme pressure the company was under. I don't think anybody would loan the company $500 million without asking very detailed questions about what our plan was," he said. In response to the layoffs, Melanie Joly, military Barbie, said that the goal of giving Algoma the money was to make sure the company would get through these months while they were working on pivoting and adapting their entire operations. Here's a tweet that came out back in the beginning of December. I guess technically it's still the beginning of December. Melanie Joly says despite the 1,000 layoffs at Algoma Steel, the $500 million in government funds were a good idea because there can be more jobs to come back to Algoma, and that this is a sign that their Buy Canada policy is working. Who would ever buy this delusional spin? This is what they're trying to sell Canadians on. So you've got Trump eliminating taxes off of tariffs in the United States, but she says we believe such investments would mean more jobs. So we're going to keep spending money for jobs to disappear. Which policies sound better to you? Eliminate income tax, or let's keep spending and printing money, devaluing our dollar to boost companies in order to leave the country? Just like Stellantis. Jolie cited the possibility, not even a guarantee, of a new beam steel plant and also a new plate steel plant that would support housing sector and defense. However, Garcia agreed that Algoma Steel may invest in that production. He noted that it would only create 400 to 500 jobs in the years to come, adding it wouldn't replace the 1,000 jobs that were lost as a result of these layoffs. Once we shut down the blast furnace and coke ovens, those jobs are not coming back. Those operations are not coming back, he said. Carney announced the Lism's natural gas liquefaction facility, as part of the second wave of nation building. It came to light that it would be owned by the American company and built with Chinese steel. Donald Trump gets another amazing deal. Texas-based Western LNG owns the Limis project and plans to have it built in Korea using Chinese steel. Carney was asked during the press conference how much taxpayer money Canadians should be prepared to, quote, invest in an American-owned and foreign-built project. The Prime Minister responded that there are structures that come with the project that ensure there will be returns to taxpayers through the tax system, adding that the Prince Rupert gas transmission pipeline would be First Nations owned. What a joke. The structure of the financing is a decision that we take full information. The full information of the project design is with that, he said. So word salad. So that's part of we answer the question with full information by doing the work, and that's what the referral of the major projects office facilitates. Rebel News has been to the major projects office, which he put in Calgary, Alberta, as a smear at Alberta. Hey, we're paying attention to you guys. There's nobody there. It's one person. There isn't a major projects office. It's all just a stupid photo op. It's nothing. I don't understand how people in this country can be so bloody stupid. I really don't. I don't understand how people can talk with their Trump derangement syndrome and say, oh, I don't think they like me very much when it comes to Donald Trump because, well, he's doing great things for his country. He's doing his job as president. He's outside the system. Liz Truss warned everybody at Donald Trump's inauguration, do not install Mark Carney into your government. He bled the Bank of England dry. He will do the same thing to Canada. And well, folks, it's happening in real time. I hope everybody in the Toronto area and around their surrounding, Mega City 1, as my co-host Matt calls it, voted for Mark Carney to come in. Don't keep in mind, folks, that half of Canada's population resides in that area. They're in charge of who runs the country. The elbows up crowd, who are now responsible for the inevitable continued downfall of this country. Alberta needs to pick up its socks and get the hell out of here as fast as it can. And I don't care if Premier Smith stands against it or anybody else. The time has come to say, we got to go. We got to get out of here. Alberta has the ability, with its third largest oil sand in the world, to get out and be the next Dubai. If we don't pick up and realize very quickly what's happening, if we don't read the writing on the wall, folks, or at least take a page out of President Trump's books, we could be screwed. This is the end of Canada. The Canada that you yearn for, is not coming back. It has been ripped up and destroyed. The Canadian flag has been wiped through good old Mr. Burns' ass to pad his pockets. That's it. That's where we're headed, folks. We are now all investors in Brookfield, making sure that they leave with all of our money. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, boy, I sure hope this video earned your subscription. This video is going to be censored to hell alongside all the other videos I've put out this week. There's this huge movement going on in Canada where Canadian channels are being suppressed. Make sure, if you have been unsubscribed, I've heard from so many viewers that they have been unknowingly unsubscribed from the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel more than you think. Leave a thumbs up and a comment. It helps push the video out past the YouTube censors that are shutting this video down. Join me live on the channel every Wednesday and Friday for Unhinged Fringe with my co-host Matt. Friday Night Fringe with the beautiful Mrs. Fringe, as we talk about everything that happened this week in politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as Q&A within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys outside and making these videos. I very much look forward to chatting with you this week, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, every Wednesday and Friday here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.